absolutely.
Let's jump up 2 questions. 2 people asked about headphones.
There's some headphones.
I never mix in headphones, but have a couple of thoughts on it. I've been mixing headphones ever in my life.
I got thoughts too. Yeah.
And I hate them. And I can always tell when I have used headphones for production and making beats. I think a final mix should not be done on headphones. I can always call out when something was done on headphones. There seems to be this disconnectedness to headphone mixes, this kind of hole in the upper mid-range because you keep turning up louder and louder and louder, so that's going to get harsher and harsher. Fletcher-Munson curve, we talked about that. So you kind of keep warming that area up, and then you put on speakers, and it just sounds, everything's like pushed back. There's not enough forward movement to mixes. So I think mixing in headphones is dangerous, and if you're hiring a mixer to mix for you as a final mix, I'd argue they should spend 0 time or close to 0 time in headphones, except for maybe checking quick panning things and like artifacts. If they're declicking, if you're trying to listen for clicks, like I think there's utility to headphones, but I completely on the don't mix in headphones for final mixes, unless you're Skrillex mixing Bangarang EP. He's the best at that.
Well, so this is just real quick. You mentioned Fletcher-Munson curve, which we talked about before. That is how the frequency range changes in your ears. How your ears perceive frequencies changes as the volume goes up. And one thing that happens, there's basically 2 things in my mind that are tough about headphones, and they both have to do with air and space. And if you are having, speakers that are right next to your ear, you are both in the high end losing the bounce of a room, even if it's a very dead room, acoustically treated. There's something about high end bouncing a little bit that's really important to the perception of it, and you don't get that in headphones. You can work around it. Again, Skrillex has made amazing sounding shit, but very specific to him, and he's a very complete artist in that way. And the other side is low end, which is if you don't have something that's actually physically resonating in your body, I don't know how you can make a judgment about a kick drum or an 808 or something if you don't physically feel it in some way.
And also just to answer this question here, HS7s and M50s, and you're going to trust the headphones over those because they're not good monitors. So that's not a fair representation of the question here.
I don't know what
they're Yamaha speakers.
Okay.
Versus the M50 Audio-Technica headphones.
Look,
I have one in my closet. I never use it. That's an interesting thing. I've heard about good results from a mastering engineer friend of mine that was doing that. I think that's a little bit different. Maybe in that kind of last final stage of, well, this is what got approved. We like this, and maybe you're not doing heavy-handed moves. Then that's okay. I don't know. I'm just going to go with, I'm not an expert on headphones. I don't like mixing on them. The space part that you're talking about is a huge part. There's suffocation. There's natural compression in our ears already. So if you're mixing loud in headphones, your ears are compressing and limiting, and that's affecting the sound. It's like monitors that have limiters built in. You're hearing limiting happening before you're putting a limiter on. It's like, it's double doing these things. So,
well, I want to give some advice because I think you and I are on the same page that what you really need is great monitoring and speakers. But for people that can't afford 5, 10, 15 grand for a treated room and good speakers, I want to at least offer some thoughts. And my best advice would be what I think a few people are saying in the comments is get a few different references. Get a few different references that you know well, and it's not going to substitute for one great reference and then AirPods and whatever. But if you don't have the ability to get a great sounding room with expensive speakers, which is you really kind of do need to spend money, as we've talked about with monitoring, I think the best thing is to have a few different references that you know really, really well.
Yeah, because I don't really like to recommend budget monitors. I don't know. I mean, I used to think Dynaudio was cool for budget monitors. They have good mid-range. They have good musicality, and the high end doesn't hurt. I don't really, and I'm not saying it to sound like an elitist or something. I think this monitors are the most important thing, so you need to save. So buying something along the way sounds like a step back from saving your money for great monitors. So I would stick to headphones until then. Yeah.
I mean, will just say again, I think
and
having multiple references is probably the best thing in my mind. It's tough though. It's a tough situation. I feel like I still don't have great monitoring. By the way, when are you linking me with PMC?
Whenever you want to.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to get to move.
That's true. Yeah.
They already told them they're ready.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be setting up the studio starting this weekend.
Just text me so we on the side about that, because I want to roll up with them too. So
that sounds good.
What else we got? We got 10 more minutes.
Let's see. We got 10 more minutes. Were there any other questions down there in the chat? There was a bunch that went by. I didn't really see them.
What's the entry point to high quality monitoring? I don't know. $3,000 for the Result 6s from PMC.
How far down do those go?
That's still. What do you mean? How far?
Frequency wise.
Oh, they'll give you everything you need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so $3,000. I mean, it's obviously a lot of money, but if you are a professional mixer, or that is your aspiration, you kind of got to start there.
And you can make something sound really great on those speakers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have them behind me.
Yeah.
I use them.
I really think that you need something that's going to get all the frequency range, and I'm still a huge fan of the car test. I know you don't really do that much, but also you didn't have a car for 2 years.
Yeah, I just got it, and now I do it. I don't really make decisions from it though. I'm mostly listening to podcasts and cars, but
what I find by having one reliable speaker system that you kind of check at the end is the just in case you miss something. That feels like is this enjoyable? Does this sit with all the other things I always listen to?
Exactly.